we all know that they're going to stop paying SNAP benefits on November 1st. But I want to tell you the story that you're not going to hear on the news. The one where the Trump government shutdown wasn't a mistake. It is the blueprint. This government shutdown, it isn't just a thing that happened. This is the plan, a step-by-step plan to see exactly how far this government can push people before they break. That plan, you might know it as Project 2025. Because guys, when I tell you that they are running this play by play straight from that book. In Chapter 10, they address the USDA. And it literally talks about how to dismantle SNAP piece by piece. Step 1, move SNAP out from under USDA and put it under HHS, Health and Human Services. That way they can push all the welfare services under one umbrella, making them easier to streamline and cut. Step 2, eliminate the USDA. Yes, that's the program that runs the SNAP program. Step 3, slash the $120 billion budget by reversing Biden-era benefit increases. And Project 2025 says we'll cut it using the excuse of efficiency. Step 4, bring back super strict rules, especially for adults without kids, ages 18 to 49. And expand general work rules for anybody from 16 all the way to 59. That means that millions could lose benefits overnight. Yes, guys, this even includes children in those households. And humiliation isn't the side dish, it's the main course. They're also closing loopholes for broad-based categories for programs like Heat and Eat and LIHEAP. Heat and Eat is a relatively complicated program, but the short version is that they basically gave increased SNAP benefits to people who were getting assistance for their heating bills through heating bill assistance program is called LIHEAP. Well, of course, HEAP is not being funded right now, or they're running on fumes because of the government shutdown. So this only further compounds the problem. So you have families who are going to go without SNAP benefits, and they're not going to have access to money to pay their heating bills. And this is a good time for me to remind everybody that it's getting cold outside. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to drop the secret words, "This is not an accident," in the comment section. Like, repost, and follow for updates. And you can also check out my new subscriber page, which is linked down below. And I'm going to do a subscriber-only live tomorrow where we talk about my working theory for the week. Now, remind yourself that the people that were writing this weren't just writing it, they're the people executing it. USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins is running the show. Remember that in July of 2025, Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill cut over $1 trillion from Medicaid and SNAP using the exact same strategy. And the Food Research and Action Center say that hunger could jump by 25% nationwide as a result of those cuts. In other words, it's not a mistake, it's part of the plan. One staffer on the Hill said, Project 2025 isn't a wish list. It's the shutdown's dress rehearsal. Engineer scarcity, blame the dependents, and watch self-reliance bloom or starve. And guys, it didn't start with the shutdown. Remember back in the spring of this year, Trump canceled $500 million USDA food shipments. Cheese, butter, poultry, fruit, eggs, that was already bought for food banks. That's 94 million pounds of food. Enough for 80 million meals. Feeding America says that food bank supplies dropped by 35%, leaving many food banks with less than 2 weeks of reserves. And then add to that you have grocery prices on the rise, up by about 2.7%. So people are starving on purpose. And of course, Brooke Rollins went on Fox News and said that this is about redirecting resources to real priorities and ending endless handouts. Then came the government shutdown, where more than 12,000 federal workers were furloughed. Who were some of those people furloughed, you might ask? SNAP processors and food safety inspectors. The people who make sure that the families get the food. Means that, of course, furloughing them means that approvals slow down, enrollments drop, and benefits simply do not go out. Demand at food banks is jumping between like 20 and 50% in some states. Here comes the part that's really going to piss you off. Some states, the states that have reserves, are going to be able to pay benefits in November, and states that rely more heavily on federal funding, of course, they're not going to be able to pay. And in case you thought that you couldn't dump anymore, I'll direct you to the 10 October directive that Trump had sent out to USDA that told them not to release the $5 to $6 billion in SNAP emergency reserves, money that Congress had already approved for this kind of an emergency. And legally, those benefits are mandatory. This is why during the 2019 shutdown, the USDA continued to pay out benefits with no problems. This time, Trump is directing them not to pay benefits that Congress has already earmarked for those benefits. Of course, the USDA is coming out blaming this shutdown on Democrats. And basically now you have lawyers and Democratic lawmakers coming out and saying, no. Trump is breaking the law. This is illegal. He is telling the USDA not to issue funds to people so that he can use it as leverage against the Democrats to get them to reopen the government without making any concessions. So here we are, a government shutdown that was not a mistake, but yet part of a calculated plan. So for clarification, Project 2025 didn't just dream up benefit rollbacks and increased work requirements. It scripts furloughs, freezing emergency funds, and letting families fall through the cracks. Now you have 25 states saying that on November 1st, benefits will stop, as in will not be paid. Food banks rationing their last cans of food. I guess the only question left is how many empty plates before Congress or the courts step in? Or will, of course, negotiation become the hunger tactic of 2025? Let me know how you guys feel about our president that is supposed to be working for all the American people using hunger as a tool to strong-arm the Democrats into submission.